Yay, you've made it to lesson 3 of the semester. Woohoo! So this week you're actually going to be starting your second writing assignment. So you've gotten over the love letter, you've gotten your creative juices flowing and gotten your cobwebs out of your fingers. You are ready to write another paper. I hope you're excited. This one is, I think the love letter is a little more fun. The writing assignment this week is a little more reflective and a little more philosophical, but I hope you still are able to enjoy it. All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of what you're going to be working on this week. Here's the overview on when things are due. Of course, make sure you do all the preparatory work first. Get your discussion board initial post done by Wednesday. And very importantly, the first draft of the writing assignment is due this Wednesday before midnight. That way, you can take copies of it to your pathway gathering to gain feedback right from the get-go. All the feedback that you get is very, very helpful so that you can continue working on and revising your essay. So make sure you get that first draft done and that it's as good as you can make it at this point. And then Saturday, make sure you get your response post done for the discussion board and then complete your reports for the week. This week, for your grammar lesson, you're going to start with commas. This is a 2-part lesson, actually. So you're doing the first part this week, and then you will continue to work with commas next week. Commas can be some of the most confusing and frustrating elements of grammar for students, but just take it one step at a time. If there's one rule that you know that you consistently don't do well, focus on that and focus on improving that in your writing. Just working on one thing at a time becomes much more manageable. It's much less frustrating. And if you can master it, it will improve your writing very quickly. So work with commas this week. If you have any questions about those tricky commas, don't hesitate to let me know. And then, of course, after you cover the information about the commas, make sure you complete your grammar exercise. This week for your discussion board, you're going to be reading 3 examples of this, I believe, papers. They're not necessarily written for this course. They are written by published authors, but they exhibit exactly what you're being asked to do. So they have a belief statement at the beginning, and then, of course, it is developed in the rest of the essay. And then in your discussion board, of course, you're being asked a couple questions about those sample essays. So make sure that you read those questions very carefully and that you answer them completely and very insightfully in your discussion board post, and that you give your classmates some substantial information to learn from as well as to respond to. So remember to make your initial post not long necessarily, but insightful and meaty. Put a lot of information in there for your classmates. Your writing lesson this week covers narrative writing. You're going to want to keep in mind the information that you learn here because you're going to be writing a personal essay toward the end of the semester, so you don't want to forget about this information. Also, tone and voice is something that you can apply to each paper that you write this semester. So don't look at these things in isolation. Think about how you can apply them to your future essays as well as the one you're working on this week. So for your writing assignment, you are going to be writing your This I Believe paper. So let's take a look at that and see what details are included there. It's always important to have a really good understanding of your assignments before you get going. All right, so here's the description. You are going to write an essay where you explain a statement of personal belief. You're going to start with, I believe in blank. Now, what you want to make sure that you understand is that this is a personal reflection of a philosophical idea. It is not an argument. It is not to be over controversial issues. There's an example down here in this highlighted note that says, I believe gun rights should be protected. Okay, that's a controversial issue that you're stating a belief about. Instead, you want to have something more philosophical. For example, up here it says friendship. I believe in friendship. I believe in testimony. As members of the church, you have the opportunity to think about your testimony frequently and to reflect on that. So that's a very good place to start for a belief statement. Is there some element of your testimony that you want to bring up? Is Is there something about your life experience that you have come to learn? And you want to make sure that it is something very personal and significant to you, because you have to provide examples and experience to back up your belief. That is a required element of this paper. So not only do you have to state a belief and then stay focused on that in your essay, you have to have experiences to help show that belief. If you don't have those experiences, you're not going to do very well in the paper. So you have to make sure you have both elements, okay? All right, let's see here. There's a couple examples on belief statements. Here's the basic elements. Make sure it's at least 1 full page long. Here's the formatting that you need to do. If you would like feedback, you've got me to get free feedback from. You have your gathering classmates to get feedback from, but you can also use the online writing tutors. So click on this link to get started with that, and I highly encourage you to do that. Having different perspectives, all providing feedback on the same paper, is helpful for you. So I highly suggest that you do that. This is the This I Believe rubric. This is how I'm going to be grading you. So you want to make sure that your essay is focused on one clearly stated belief. It needs to be stated very clearly, very specifically right up front. Also, you want to make sure that your essay is organized and transitions from one sentence and paragraph to the next. And this is the crucial part. Specific examples and events and experiences to show your readers your belief and not tell them about it. If you don't give me examples, you're going to lose a lot of points right here, which is going to hurt your overall grade. So you need to have the examples. In addition to the examples, you also have to have thoughtful reflection on how the examples relate to your belief. You cannot just include an experience and expect your reader to follow and understand what they're supposed to get out of it. That's your job as the writer. So you say, I believe in this. Then I had this experience. This is how this experience brought me to this belief. So make sure you have all of those elements. And the reflection is surprisingly easy to forget. So do not forget about that. You have to have a belief, examples and support, and then reflection about those examples and report. Okay, have I repeated that enough times? Are you going nuts yet? It's just really important, so I want to make sure that you don't miss that. And then the last element you're graded on relates to grammar, formatting, and length, things like that. So if you have any questions on this, let me know. But that is the rubric that you'll be graded on for this essay. Make sure you take a look at it. Make sure you take a look at this assignment description very carefully. Make sure you fully understand what you're doing before you start drafting. All right, so for your pathway gathering, as I've already said, you're going to be taking 3 copies of your first draft of your This I Believe paper so that you can get feedback on that, and then begin drafting your rough draft, which will be due next week. Also, of course, you need to work on your speaking partner as usual, and then complete your reports by the end of the week. So nothing, new and exciting this week, just starting a new assignment, working with some different material. I hope you enjoy it. Always. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And I think that's about it that I need to cover at this time. So just keep me posted on how you're doing, and I hope you're having a great time in the course so far. If not, let me know what I can do to improve things for you, and I will do my best to do it. So have a great week.